Welcome back to the 5 Foundations of Leadership. Today we're talking about number 3, communication. 1 and 2 have been vision, the visionary leader, providing purpose and direction. We also talked about one of my favorite subjects, emotional intelligence, where we talked about inter and intrapersonal skills. But number 3, communication. Communicators, leaders must speak with conviction and always conveying values. My friends, listen, if you cannot communicate as a leader, you are going to struggle big time. And I'm not just talking about, big audiences and conferences. You have to have the ability to do that, yes, but also in smaller groups, in meetings, but even on a one-on-one basis. Communication, the ability to communicate values, the ability to communicate ideas and concepts, and obviously your heart, your objectives, your thoughts, and everything that goes with it. So I thought I would borrow a little bit from the style of somebody called John Maxwell, a very famous leadership guru, and I would like to kind of take on his stylistic approach a little bit and maybe mention 5 laws that I believe are incredibly important. And as simplistic as this may sound, that's what makes communication so impactful, is that it is simple. As a matter of fact, the second law that I want to talk about is the law of simplicity. But before I get there, let me talk about the first one, the law of clarity. The law of clarity says that you have to remove the fog. You have to be as clear as you can possibly be when conveying your thoughts, your ideas, your desires, particularly when you are not happy with the way things are going. Maybe you need to pivot the organization. Maybe you need to pivot your team. And so removing any element of doubt, any kind of fog is incredibly important. Number 2 is that law of simplicity. What does that mean? You take the complex and you simplify. You break it down into digestible chunks. Not that only some people understand, but everyone in the organization understand where you're going, because really you're probably conveying direction. You're probably conveying vision, which takes us to the first foundation. And so making sure that you're eliminating the unnecessary, eliminating the overcomplication, that you're focusing on your core message is absolutely critical. Number three under the law of communication is the law of listening. And here I would say this: listen more than you speak. Listen more than you speak. My friends, listening is not only a skill, it really is an art form. Most people are not very good when it comes to listening. They listen to be combative. They listen to argue. They read between the lines. They don't remove emotion. There's tones involved in what they are saying and indicating. There's body language. Of course, we could say all the right words and have it in a very poor body language. And so I really want to encourage you that listening is an art and a skill that needs to be developed. This is why clarifying and confirming and asking a lot of questions is absolutely critical. The 4th law, the law of consistency. Why? Because consistency in communication creates confidence, which ultimately creates trust. And trust is absolutely the bedrock and foundation of any relationship, organization, family, ministry. You name it, we need trust. So keep the promises you make. Continue to say the same message. I don't want to be disparaging here, but political leaders always fall into this trap. They say one thing to one group of people, something else to another group of people. And in the world of our digital lives, if you will, is going to catch up to you. People know what you have said at one time or another. Somebody also said this, that if you always tell the truth, you don't have to remember what you said. Think about that. Think about that for a moment, the consistency in your message. Number 5, the law of persuasion, the ability to inspire people, the ability to influence people. Here's what I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about manipulation. I'm not talking about bamboozling people or baffling them with you know what, but in reality that we are persuasive because we have conviction, we have inner belief, and we're communicating our heart. We believe what we're saying. We believe what we're selling because ultimately, as a communicator, you're selling yourself, right? Your vision, your idea, your thoughts, your values, you're really selling yourself and what you really believe in. That is the thing that is going to make you the most persuasive. Let me run through them again. The law of communication. Number 1, the law of clarity. Number 2, the law of simplicity. Number 3, the law of listening. Number 4, the law of consistency. And finally, the law of being persuasive. I trust that this has helped you. Please put any comments, any questions, any concerns in the comment section. I will get back to as many as I can.